Hi, my name is Sandy. I'd like to welcome you to my channel, Living the RV Dream. I hope that if you enjoy what you see here or learn something from it, that you will press the subscribe button. I would like to have as many subscribers as possible. They're not so easy to come by these days. A lot of competition on this site. Today I want to talk to you about camping. People don't understand, many people don't understand, that campgrounds vary significantly in their rules, their charges, and so forth. And what I want to talk to you today about is fairly important. It's their stay limits. In other words, how long they will allow you to stay in a site. Some campgrounds, they'll allow you to stay for a year or more if you want, if you're going to be a full-timer. Some limit you to a few days, some to a few weeks. And the thing is, if you're traveling, you need to know ahead of time the place that you're going to, what their rules are. The differences depend on several things. One is the type of campground. For example, a high-end resort is going to limit you usually to a week or 14 days. A small mom and pop is going to be much more liberal, but you may not want to stay in the mom and pop, or conversely, you may not want to pay the fees that the high-end resort is going to charge, because there will be a definite difference in cost. Another thing that limits you is special events. If you want to go, let's say, to the Balloon Fiesta in Albuquerque, New Mexico, number one, you're going to have to reserve far in advance because a lot of people go to that event. And it's going to be limited because they want to give everybody a chance to be able to stay there so that they can enjoy the festivities. So you need to do your research on that. Your geographical area also matters. If you are going to camp outside of town, you're going to be much more likely to stay longer. If you're going to stay in town, especially if it's a place like Chicago or New York City or Los Angeles, the limits are going to be much more severe and the costs are going to be much higher. Big cities, small towns, and tourist areas all have different stay limits. Destination venues, for example, there's a big KOA in South Dakota that has about 500 spaces in it. They are very expensive to stay at, and most people, it's a family park, and most people go there and they just stay for a week or so, so it's not a problem for them. But that's not a place that's going to let you stay for more than 14 days because they want as many people as possible to be able to come there and enjoy their luxuries, such as horseback riding and free stage shows at night and ice cream parlors and pizza parlors and water slides and all sorts of things. So the more people that stay there, the more go home and tell their friends, and then they get more business that way. So destination venues, they don't want anybody living there. This is strictly a tourist type of park, and you need to remember that. One thing with parks like this is that they charge quite a bit, and that in itself limits the amount of time someone is going to stay there, because nobody wants to be paying $60 or $70 a night for a really long visit. But for a week or two, yeah, most families can afford that. Membership parks is another one. The Coast to Coast and those parks, they all have stay limits on them. Even Passport America does. So you need to do your research. You need to find out, what's going on there. Government parks, your national parks, all limit you in one way or another. Generally, it's a 14-day limit. Mostly you're not going to want to even stay there 14 days because many of them have no real facilities. For example, Yellowstone, most of their campgrounds don't have any hookups. So how long are you going to stay there? You know, you can work it out, I guess, but it's not going to be comfortable. Free campsites, they all have stay limits, very short ones. Some of them are a day, some of them are 4 days, but you are not going to stay in a free campsite very long, and you're not going to live in one, certainly. But they're good stopping points, but you need to know how long you can be there. The mom and pops always are more liberal because they need the business. They're smaller. They're generally not located in big tourist venues, and they can't offer the same amenities as some of the other parks. So the time limits all vary based on those things that I mentioned. And when you're planning your trip, you do need to take that into account. I can remember wanting to go to Kentucky Horse Park on one of our trips. And when I did my research, I was shocked to learn that they were having a special event there for 2 weeks, right when we were planning to go. And there was going to be no camping for anybody except the people involved in the special event. So we could have pulled up there and had no place to stay. And that place isn't easy to get to. It's in the middle of nowhere. So to save yourself some trouble, do your homework. Use your Good Sam travel guide. Go on the internet. Most of these places have websites. And call them up and ask them, what the deal is. And that way you'll know before you go. And you'll know if you have to make reservations. You'll know when the busy times are. You're not going to want to drive into the Black Hills of South Dakota during the buffalo roundup. There will be no sites for you unless you reserve a year in advance. So do your homework. I always advise that. Thank you for looking at this video. And I hope if you liked it, you will hit the subscribe button and keep on dreaming. One more thing, while I was filming this, you may have noticed a man in the window behind me. That's my husband. I haven't trained him yet about this YouTube stuff, so he got in the picture and didn't know it. So I think it's funny, so I just thought I'd tell you who that was and what was happening, and I didn't want to have to do the video again, so there you go. Bye-bye.